Alright, so you've heard of Hatsune Miku,
Yes.
right? Of
No.
course everyone knows her. She's a worldwide sensation and one of the most beloved fictional characters of all time. But how did she get to this point?
Okay, so I legitimately had no clue. I know of the name. I've heard the name before, okay? So don't give me a hard time for that, okay? And I know I watch anime, I play some anime games, and people were so shocked that I don't know who she is. I apologize. I just thought it was a VTuber. But apparently, I'm completely wrong. I am locked in. I want to know because obviously she's super popular, so I want to see, you know, what's all the juice about. So let's find out. And apparently this goes way back.
At the turn of the century, a little company known as Yamaha had an idea. If
Little
we can
company.
digitalize instruments, then why can't we digitalize voices too? And
What?
so their multi-million-dollar idea was in play. On February 3rd, 2003, Yamaha announced to the public that they were starting development for a project called Vocaloid.
Vocaloid. Okay, I've heard of this before, but I didn't know what it was. I thought that was a VTuber group. Okay, cool. I'm still getting into this VTuber space and I'm still trying to learn about it. And I thought Vocaloid was like a group of VTuber singers. But okay, so it's a project created by Yamaha back in the day. That's crazy. I'm a musician. I have so many Yamaha products. I had no clue, bro. I don't know how I missed this. Let's keep going.
A little less than a year later, they released their very first Vocaloids, known as Leon and Lola. These Vocaloids were very different to the Vocaloids
Those
we know
lips are
now,
juicy.
because they weren't marketed with the cute anime mascots that you're used to. Later that year, they released Mako, who was the first one to be actually marketed with the anime mascots that
Hatsune
you're used to.
Miku.
Over the new year into 2005,
V1.
Mako blows expectations out of the water and sells 3 times more units than the creators expected. This wasn't to say that Leon
3,000
and Lola
times.
weren't a success though, because they brought huge attention to the Vocaloid project and even won awards. Fast forward another year to 2006,
No
where
way.
they released Kaito, who was actually being developed alongside Mako. And this is still important to Miku's story, I promise you. After Mako's success, the bar was set high for Kaito, but to the disappointment of his creators, Kaito only sold 1/6 the amount of units as Mako. This
Classic mistake. You always gotta go with the hot anime girl, guys. The hot anime guys, unfortunately, sorry, male VTubers. It's just, you guys know. The male VTubers that I've been interacting with, you guys know. It's just bums all the way down. Unfortunate. There's something about it. I don't know. I don't know why the world is so drawn to female VTubers and anime characters over the male ones. In this space, online space specifically, it doesn't make any sense to me because in the anime world, you know, there's so many anime male characters that are so coveted. But maybe we'll find out. Maybe we'll find out as this video continues. Sorry, I'm apologizing for pausing a lot, but I want to talk about it and get my opinion out there. I'm not going to stop pausing. I'm sorry.
made the folks at the corporate office come to a realization. Consumers don't actually care about guys. They only want cute girls and nothing else.
Yep.
Now as we move along the timeline,
Facts.
I want to make a pit stop in the middle of 2007, where the Vocaloid known as Sweet Anne was released. She's pretty cute, right? Well, that's what she looked like only in this one part of the world. Everywhere else, she looked like this. That's not the cute anime girl we like. Motherfucker looks like she would be on a package of pancake mix. Like bro's probably best friends with Aunt Jemima or Little Debbie. I don't know why they decided to change directions with the art style when Mako worked so well for them. By the way, this entire section about Sweet Anne has nothing to do with the story of Miku. I just thought it was funny that a Vocaloid looked more like an American food mascot rather than a cute singing anime mascot. While on the topic of introducing you to Vocaloids, I want to address a common misconception or misunderstanding, which is that the Vocaloid characters are not the artists. The song
See? He's even saying it in the video. It's a common misconception. You guys bullied me for thinking this. But even he in the video, we're in the first 2 minutes of the video and he's like, by the way, this is very common. It's very common and very normal. You should not be ashamed of this. There we go. That's what I didn't know. That was the piece of the missing puzzle, okay? It's all up from here.
songs are created by real people who produce these songs and work really hard on them. The easiest way to think about it is by remembering that Vocaloids are just instruments, just like a guitar or piano, not a person.
That's
I see
so
way too many
cool.
people saying a song is by a Vocaloid instead of giving proper credit to the person that actually put in all the work, which is the producer. Attributing a song to a
Well, they probably thought it was Hatsune Miku. You can't blame him. You can't blame him. Maybe they thought the Vocaloid was just the anime person doing it. It was the Vocaloid. This is, sorry, I apologize for my ignorance and everyone else's ignorance in this matter. This is ridiculous. This is a travesty. Oh, unbelievable.
Vocaloid character is like if you attributed Fur-Elise to piano. See? Doesn't make much sense, does it? These characters are only there to be promotional mascots for the voice banks and nothing else.
All right, he's true and swears a lie. Okay, I'm curious how Hatsune Miku specifically this iteration
On
came
August
around.
31st, 2007, Hatsune Miku is released to the public.
Wow.
She instantly blows up and sells over 3,000 units in just 1 week.
Whoa!
To put into perspective how much of a success she was, Kaito sold 500 units in 1 year, Meiko sold 3,000 units in 1 year, and Miku sold nearly both of them combined in just 1 week. If
Whoa.
my math is correct, then that means Miku sold 3,000 units over 5,000 times faster than Meiko and Kaito
Damn.
combined. This number steadily grew, and by the middle of next year, she had sold over 40,000 copies. And so they did it. Yamaha perfectly executed their multi-million yen plan, and all it took was to make cute anime girls, but with unnatural colored hair this time. Hatsune Miku was voiced by the wonderful Saki Fujita, who coincidentally is 39 years old at the time of this video coming out. And in case you don't know, the number 39 is the number most associated with Miku, because the number 3 in Japanese can be read as Mi, and the number 9 can be read as Ku. So
Miku.
it sounds like her first name, Miku.
Oh, that's fun.
And coincidentally, it's actually the same year that Miku turned 16 years old, which is her officially stated age.
Damn.
But anyways, let's get back on track. Now
This thing's been around for a while, huh? Holy crap. The person who voiced it's coming up in their 40s. Wow, I feel so bad. This is genuinely a piece of internet history that has legit gone over my head completely. I'm actually shocked. I'm actually dumbfounded. I am flabbergasted. I am befuddled. How many male VTubers are out there? How many male VTubers are going through this? Male VTubers watching this are on their knees. Someone fell to their knees in a Walmart. What do you got to do? What does a male VTuber got to do to get some love around here, huh?
that you know Miku's origins, let's get into what the video is actually about. Miku's impact on internet culture.
Yes,
the
this is what I wanted to know.
The very first video with Hatsune Miku I could find was this Nico Nico Doga video, uploaded by the user Komuro Koa, 3 days before the release of Miku.
Wait, I've heard this before.
This seems to be a demo showing consumers what Miku was capable of, and presumably it came from an official promotional website, because when looking at Koa's other videos, it seems like they have no affiliation with any companies themselves. Like, here's a clip of them getting brutally—
Dude, these kind of videos, bro, this is OG YouTube in a nutshell, man, here. Right here. The crappy, low quality titles, random ass people just uploading their random family crap, food, just people taking care of photos of food, no terrible lighting, no thumbnails. This was OG YouTube. I miss this. I miss this so much.
No affiliation with any companies themselves. Like, here's a clip of them getting brutally attacked by a potato.
Oh.
Now, although I say that the demo video definitely came from somewhere else, I can't actually find where it came from. But it's a given thing, seeing how this is 17 years old, and things on the internet are extremely hard to dig up from that long ago.
I guess we'll never
no
know.
one was really thinking about archiving anything back then. But we can assume it came from an official promotion promoting Miku's release. For the next few days after Miku's release, Nico Nico was filled with users creating their own simple cover songs with Miku. On September 4th,
so crazy.
a Nico Nico user created this, the very first Miku meme, involving Miku replacing a character spinning a leak from an already existing internet meme at the time.
Okay. I know
Miku later became its own.
that must be just an OG meme. It must be. I guess he said that. But there's that, for whatever reason, I haven't heard that song in over 15 years, and whatever happened there in my brain, it just instantly, it was locked away in there, and I was just activated like a sleeper agent, and I just instantly started that's crazy. I had not thought about that. That's really scary.
Character known as Hatsune Miku. This video I'm pretty sure is long gone nowadays because I can't seem to find the original, but the oldest surviving one I can find is this one from just 3 days after the original Nico Nico upload on YouTube. This would be a turning point in Miku's popularity because it marks one of Miku's most iconic symbols, which would later be synonymous with her character and perception in pop culture for the rest of time. This small meme developed Miku's character in future memes and built her personality and character, something so iconic that it even gets referenced in official media and merchandise to to this day, and that is her leak. Well, actually, it's a spring onion, but most people have called it a leak, and it does look more like a leak than a spring onion, so we can just brush that under the rug. The popularity of this leak would also lead fans to assigning a specific character item for every future Vocaloid.
Oh,
on September 7, 2007, a producer-songwriter by the name of Ryo, once known as the greatest producer on Nico Nico Doga, who would later go on to create the most iconic Vocaloid song in history, uploads his song by the name of Melt. And on a side note, I can never pronounce his name. Like, it's just one letter off of my own name, but for some reason it's so incredibly hard for me to say. But anyways, I actually have never heard this song.
Maybe I hope we hear the song, because maybe I've heard it.
It is the third most viewed Vocaloid song on the entire Nico Nico site, behind Zenbon Sakura and Miku Miku Nishita Ageru. This could be due to the fact that re-uploads of it on YouTube didn't receive nearly as many views as other songs did, and in fact the most viewed re-upload to YouTube didn't even get half as many views as the original, where other songs got tens of millions of views. So for this reason, this song probably didn't get as much recognition in the global community.
Is that 2.6 million views?
In the West, it did in Japan, being the first ever Miku song to do so. On the 24th of February 2008, a program known as Miku Miku Dance was released to the public. Miku Miku Dance, or MMD for short.
MMD? No way, I use this program. Okay, for those who don't know, it's like a, you know, if you're importing certain characters in 3D, you know, I've got a little bit of a background with animation and whatnot. You can sometimes when you're importing like sometimes anime characters and stuff, you use like an MMD importer. I didn't actually ever know what it stood for. So cool. Okay. I guess I've been so ingrained in this culture and I didn't even know it, bro.
It's a free 3D animation program programmed by Yu Higuchi to promote Vocaloid to the public. It allows users to import a 3D model and animate it doing anything the user wishes. There's anything from characters dancing to songs, random skits, porn, really anything that you can think of.
Well,
because of the software's free to use nature and the fact that you
I'm not making porn, by the way. I just want to make that clear. That's something I'm not doing. And if I were doing that, I would have a Patreon down below where you can find such activities. You looked, didn't you? Yeah, I gotcha.
You can do basically anything with it. It had a huge boom in popularity with people making all kinds of entertaining content and producers using it for music videos to their songs.
Old school 3D software.
Isn't limited to just Vocaloid content, so it spreads exponentially outside the Vocaloid sphere.
Yeah.
If you were an anime fan in the late 2000s or early 2010s, then there's a 0% chance that you've never seen at least one video made with MMD. Moving forward, most videos you'll see in the fandom at the time were either hand-drawn animations or MMD animations. Now let's take a little detour into the...
Dude, I was watching those when I was younger. So how the fuck did I not come across Hatsune Miku? I don't get it. She seems to be at the center of internet culture and I somehow missed it. That's a little concerning.
World of Utao. Utao is basically a parallel to what Vocaloid is, in that it's a voice synthesizer application, but unlike Vocaloid, it's all community built. It's developed by one person called Ameya.
I love that kind of stuff.
Instead of professionally being developed, the voice banks are made by random people. And from what I can see, you can just go and make yourself into a voice bank too. And enter Utaoloids, who are character mascots for the voice banks just like Vocaloid. And naturally, with cute anime mascots comes fans. This brings us to April 1st, 2008, where an April Fool's announcement about a new Vocaloid gets made, named Kasane Teto. She was designed by the artist Sen, and if you just look at her design, it's pretty easy to see that she was an obvious parody of Miku. She has the twin tails, although in a drill style, and she wears the exact same outfit, but just recolored. There's a lot of popular Utaoloids you'll see intertwined with the Vocaloid fandom, including the aforementioned Teto, and Momo, Ruko, Tei, and many more. These characters would become a big part of the growing Vocaloid community, showing up in music videos, animations, and eventually later down the line getting their own officially licensed merch. On the topic of community-created characters, we also have fanloids. Fanloids are fan-created characters for already pre-existing voice banks instead of Utao's original voice banks. They usually come from pitching a voice bank to a higher or lower pitch. Just like Utaoloids, these characters would grow massively popular in the community.
Yo, can you imagine if like guitars had these kind of like fucking fans, bro? I don't know. I play guitar, and imagine if all of the guitars had like a cute anime girl that came with it. I mean, how fun would that be? My Steve Vai, my Ibanez Steve Vai limited edition gem sitting back there. I wouldn't have to think about Steve Vai's ugly mug. I'd be thinking about a hot anime girl. They would have sold millions. I think they already did.
A lot of these characters were also just memified versions of Vocaloids, like Hatsune Miku, which we talked about earlier. Other fanloids include Neru, Mikudayo, Shiteyanyo, Mikuo.
Hey, wait. One of these one of these is not like the other. The stand user could be anyone.
I could keep going, but there's basically an endless amount. And this is all important information we'll come back to later on.
I'm not gonna lie, even this video's got like the old school YouTube vibes.
Next, we move on to arguably the most influential and famous Vocaloid song of all time. World Is Mine is a song by Ryo, along with his band, Supercell.
No.
No, not that Supercell.
Oh, okay.
The band Supercell is notable for making tons of huge Vocaloid songs. This song
maybe I recognize
blew
this
up with over 10 million views on Nico Nico, and re-uploads of it on YouTube got upwards of 20 to 60 million views. This song brought tons of overseas fans into the fandom, and is basically the song a lot of people think of when they think of Vocaloid. Or at least that's the case for me. I can't actually read people's thoughts. A few months later, a song by the name of Triple Baka was released by producer Lamaz P, accompanied by this music video. The music video shows the fanloid Aika Neru and Utao Kasane Teto, who were also used in the song, along with Hatsune Miku. Since this song went viral at the time, it boosted the popularity of the community-made characters, and they were picked up by more fans. The same year, Ryo released another insanely impactful song, titled Black Rock Shooter, that was based on the original illustration by the artist.
Dude, this drawing is fucking awesome, bro. This character is so sick. This is totally an anime I would have watched when I was a younger kid, dude. That's awesome. That's a big ass gun.
Huke. The song was so popular, in fact, that it led to Black Rock Shooter getting a game, an anime, and a lot more media.
No way! I gotta check this out!
I'm not gonna spend too much time focusing on Black Rock Shooter though, because it doesn't really have much to do with Miku herself. But I still think that it's cool that an entire multimedia franchise.
Dude, I am obsessed with these little pieces of internet history. That's why, listen, one of the main themes of this video that we should really be focusing on here as an internet culture, because although I'm living under a rock, we are all still a part of internet culture. Preservation is so important, dude. These videos are so important. And I was a little sad at the very beginning where he was saying things like, I couldn't find some stuff. They're just gone forever because people weren't concerned about preservation back then and archiving and storing stuff. I think it's so important. I love learning about these little things. There's a niche ass game out there now that I did not know about, that I am so curious to play. There's an anime out there that I'm so curious to check out that is so steeped in this history that I would have literally never heard of if none of this existed. And there are millions of stories like this that I do not know about. It's so exciting. Kind of why I like doing these videos. Well, it's exactly why I love doing this video. Just learning this kind of stuff is just so mind blowing to me, and learning all these little corners of the internet that I had no clue people hung out in.
Was spawned from just one character design in a Hatsune Miku song, even if the anime is apparently shit.
I'll still check it out.
You've heard this song.
Yeah!
Popipo is a song made by Lamaz, the same person who made Triple Baka, that just consists of Miku singing and encouraging you to drink vegetable juice, paired with a music video consisting of just 2 frames of Miku doing the silly little dance. These 2 frames of Hatsune Miku dancing would set off one of the biggest trends on Nico Nico in the following months. Nico Nico users would create loads of videos of themselves doing the dance themselves, making mad videos, and just all around having fun with it. Man,
this is YouTube. I know this isn't on YouTube, but this is like OG YouTube in a nutshell. This is what it was all about, man. I really do miss this. Now it's like everything's monetized, man. All these like hyper clickbait, AI generated thumbnails, Mr. Beast, throwing people into a hell in the cell, make them throwing 2 bats in there, and then only one person comes out alive. Reactors. Need I say more?
I miss when internet trends back in the day were just harmless fun instead of stuff like this.
This is one of the dumbest. I remember seeing these videos. I thought these are some of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen. But you have to keep in mind, these people are kids. My brain wasn't fully developed when I was this young lad's age. And if the cameras were rolling and TikTok was around, I would be absolutely humiliated right now, having to know that the shit I did when I was a kid is on the internet. That sucks for them. Because this guy could be, a law guy. He could be a guy of the law doing law things now, like Batman. And then he has to look back at this video in his Batcave at night and be like, oh, man, I was such a moron.
The dance trend, though, could have been inspired by a different dance trend that emerged a month prior called Gedan, which was started and popularized by the one and only Lamaze. Gedan is actually one of, if not the biggest Japanese internet trends to ever exist, and it just consists of a subject flashing frames of themselves in various poses to the song Promise by Komi Hirose.
I heard this one too.
After Pokepo blew up, the Vocaloid fandom was in full swing at this point, and there was even a huge fanbase outside of the internet, going to some of the first Miku concerts at this time. It's probably a good time to mention.
This is crazy! Dude! She kind of like paved the way for VTubers, if I'm not wrong, bro. Hey, any VTubers watching this, you're welcome, you know? It's coming from a flesh tuber. I know that's what I'm called nowadays. Yeah. I'm learning.
And the other massively popular Vocaloids too, since you'll be seeing them a lot going forward. These include ones we've mentioned before,
so many.
like Miku, Kaito, and Miko, and other popular ones like Rin, Len, Gakupo, and Luca. There's way more, but these are just the
Yo, this guy at the fucking front is awesome. He looks badass. He's like Demon Slayer, but on LSD.
most popular at the time. The only notable event in 2009 I can think of is the release of Hatsune Miku's first video game by the name of Hatsune Miku Project Diva. Obviously, this spread Vocaloid and Miku's popularity even more, like basically everything in this video. But instead of dominating the internet, they branched out to gamers. Hatsune Miku Project Diva is the first of many games in this series.
We gotta check this out.
Developed by Sega and Krypton Future Media. The game was never released outside of Japan, but it sold pretty well at just over 100,000 copies, and it was so well received that it allowed the game to become an entire series of games.
100,000 copies is
with the
solid.
newest one being Hatsune Miku Project Diva Mega Mix Plus, which was released in mid-2022. Obviously, every new game
looks like
a
a rhythm game.
And outside
Very
of the
cool.
original. These games would also lead to the eventual release of Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage, also known as Project Sekai at the beginning of this decade, which kind of brought on a new wave of fans after the Vocaloid fandom kind of died down a bit in the late 2010s. But we're here to talk about the early days of Miku, not current events. Some of the games would include Fanloids, Utaoloids, and other fan-made staples of the Vocaloid community at the time. It's really cool to see official products acknowledge what helped their franchise get there in the first place. This would also happen in official merchandise too. For example, Miku's Nendoroids getting Hatsune Miku, and leak references Kasane Teto getting her own Nendoroid, and a Fanloid called Kane CA getting multiple license figures.
Wow, look at this thing! Jeez! I don't know. I think this is one of the coolest ways to run a brand, bro. To be completely entrenched in the community and listen to the community and build things that were originally created by the community and just taking on those things and improving upon them and actually creating products for them and then reinvesting in that. Because when you're creating this stuff, you're really investing in the community. I could see why this lasted so long. I know he's talking about it dying down in the 2010s, but like, when did this start? 2005? You know? Especially on the internet. That's a long time. And we're still here talking about it now. So I'm sure maybe there's a little bit of a resurgence or whatever, but I really misunderstood how popular she was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a little bit of a blip, a little bit of cool internet history, but Hatsune Miku, when I say she, and Vocaloids kind of at the center of everything in a weird way, you know, in a weird way of that, like they're OGs. They're OGs of a lot of stuff. That's pretty crazy.
Shita Yanyo is a fan-made character by an artist named Ryusei.
I gotta know about this
2nd,
thing.
2010. And it's incredibly cursed. It's Miku, but she has no body and her pigtails act like her legs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This thing is pretty weird, but apparently it's based off the lyrics of the song Miku Miku Nishite Ageru. There were actually versions of Vocaloids that were really similar to Shita Yanyo, where Miku and other Vocaloids had their hair and accessories turned into feet. But the one made by Ryusei was the one that blew up and became a meme. The title of the original artwork was named Miku Miku Nishite Yanyo. The commenter shortly after its posting called the character just simply Shita Yanyo. Shita Yanyo means Shite Ageru, which in English just means to do for someone. Some things that boosted Shita Yanyo's popularity right from the beginning is when a 3D artist by the name of Dano created a 3D animation of Shita Yanyo walking. Dano is mostly known for their creation by the name of Kane CA, a creepy mechanical version of Miku that I briefly mentioned earlier. I'm going to assume that Dano already had this made and just uploaded it because they saw the rising popularity of Ryusei's Shita Yanyo, because it resembles the old version of it rather than Ryusei's Shita Yanyo, and the fact that they uploaded it less than 4 hours after Ryusei's upload. A few days later, Dano posted a drawing competition on Pixiv that challenged users to draw Shita Yanyo in any way they please. I'm assuming that
These are going to be diabolical. I really hope he shows me some of these submissions because these are going to be absolutely horrific and diabolical. This is the good stuff, by the way. You might be thinking, what the fuck is this video about? Why are we watching this? This is the good stuff, okay? This is why the channel exists. This is why we exist. This is why I exist, to learn about stuff like this.
Dano created this competition because they just really liked Shiteyanyo and wanted it to become popular or something. I couldn't find any confirmation on actually why, but this competition blew up and got thousands of submissions, which boosted its popularity so much that Krypton Future Media officially licensed it and started selling merchandise of Shiteyanyo.
Crazy.
Around the same time, Shiteyanyo would start getting traction on Nico Nico, where people would make MMD animations and other meme videos. Shiteyanyo would also start gaining traction in the Western internet about a year later, with fans making fan art and posting it to predominantly English websites such as Tumblr, DeviantArt, and other popular websites at the time. Obviously, a lot of the Nico Nico content would inspire or get directly uploaded to YouTube, which really helped spread Shiteyanyo's popularity. With its massive popularity, Shiteyanyo would also spread to other fandoms, leading to artists creating Shiteyanyo-inspired artworks of their favorite characters. Next, we have one of, if not the biggest impact to the internet that Hatsune Miku directly or indirectly caused. Now, I want you to think of a meme. Any meme. That's right. But why would you think of Skibbity Toilet, dumbass? Try again, but think of one of the biggest memes of all time. We have the likes of Rage.
Alright, biggest meme of all time. I know this guy says Rage Faces, but I feel like there's something even bigger. There are a couple of nominations I would have for greatest meme of all time. Troll Faces are definitely up there. I feel like it looks like he's about to mention Troll Faces. However, I would like to also offer steamed hams. The Rick Roll. The Rick Roll might be the biggest one. I don't know if you guys are going to top that, to be honest. And maybe even Leroy Jenkins. However, I think Leroy Jenkins doesn't hold a candle to Trollface. But I would say the biggest one of all time, I would say is Rick Roll. That's got nothing to do with the video, but it's just a fun thing I wanted to think about.
Comics, Doge, Nyan Cat, MLG, and Advice Animals. Now, which of these do you think originated from Hatsune Miku? That's right, none of them. I'm joking. It was actually Nyan Cat. On July 27th, 2010, Vocaloid producer Donnie Well posted a song onto Nico Nico by the name of Nya 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 Nya
Nya. Yeah, that was a banger. That was a banger. I hated that. I hated that growing up. I hated it.
That's 7 yaws, by the way. And in English, this title just means meow 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 meow. Believe it or not, every single lyric in the song is just the word nya, which was stated by the creator themselves. This song performed decently well when it was released, but it never took the internet by storm immediately, like some of the other things in this video. Though it did have a lot of covers on Nico Nico and YouTube. This is also around the time that YouTube started getting more popular in Japan, so more Japanese internet memes started to leak out into the international internet. Now, if you actually listen to the original song by Donnie Well, you'll immediately notice that something's off. That's because the original version is not the version that became a meme. This title would be held by the version of Nya 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 that was sung by the Utaloid Momo Momone. Unfortunately, I can't find exactly when this one released, other than a YouTube version from Danny Well themselves, which was released in December of 2011. Fast forwarding from the song's creation almost a year to April 2011, a now infamous GIF, not GIF, was posted onto the site LolComics, a site for the artist PR Guitar Man to upload his art. Since PR Guitar Man had a sizable following at that time, the cat GIF gained a lot of popularity on multiple websites. A YouTube user by the name of Sarah June with the Momo version of Nya 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 over it. And the rest is history. Well, actually a pretty bad history because it got sold as an NFT a few years ago.
Oh shit, I forgot about NFTs. That was a weird part of the internet. That was weird. Forgot about that.
Now, what was the original creator of this song's reaction to their song getting the success that it did? Well, over the years, they made different remixes of the nya 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 nya, and I'm assuming that they got some kind of royalties from how big the meme got. Nowadays, they still rep the Nyan Cat stuff in their social medias, but sadly, they barely got any recognition from the meme itself. You can probably find real-time tweets of their reaction to the meme on their Twitter from the time that it was blowing up too. But very recently, in February 2024, Daniel actually collaborated with McDonald's to release a nya 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 remix for an ad for their ongoing anime-styled campaign.
Oh, I remember this. I didn't see this one specifically, but I remember the anime campaign. All right, this is all copyright struck. Thank you for not including it.
I guess the last thing I want to say in this section is go support Daniel for them getting mostly unrecognized for their work.
What? I didn't know about any of this.
Mikudayo is one of the most popular fanloids, who is apparently officially 8 years old. Mikudayo originates from a mascot costume created by Good Smile Company to advertise Sega's new 3DS game, Hatsune Miku and the Future Stars, Project Mirai, for a video game convention called Tokyo Game Show 2000.
This guy is so thorough. This is what we need more of in the space, by the way. This guy got real granular with it. And I really appreciate that.
2011. This costume was supposed to be a life-size version of the Hatsune Miku Nendoroid that was released a year prior. But after many fans saw the costume online, they noticed that it looked a bit funky compared to the original Nendoroid. This costume would quickly become the subject of mockery on 2chan and other popular Japanese websites at the time for being a silly, deformed-looking mascot. Internet users made a lot of photo collages, which were kind of
what's wrong with that? It does get funnier the more I look at it. You know what it is? Guys, you know what it is? She's got no neck. And a big head. I guess it does look pretty funny.
Kind of the Japanese internet versions of image memes at the time. Originally, the costume was called Kiguru Miku, which is a pun on the word Kigurumi, which just means mascot costume in Japanese. Eventually, the name Mikudayo was more popular with the fans,
She's got no
and by
neck.
February of the next year, it became the unofficial name. In the following months, the name Mikudayo would become pseudo-officially recognized, after members of Sega staff would refer to her by the name. Slowly, Mikudayo would be officially recognized and get merchandise and be used in more advertising. And apparently, Mikudayo is considered evil by the fans, and funnily enough, Kane CA is the nice one, despite both of their looks saying otherwise.
Yo, how much money has Yamaha made off of all of this? That's what I need to know. Yamaha, how much have you gotten away with? The people have to know. The people need to know.
Hello, everyone. I'm Scott, president of Domino's Pizza. Have you heard of Hatsune Miku?
No.
Today,
For our last topic, we're going to talk about Domino's app
Scott?
featuring Hatsune Miku. On March 6, 2013, Domino's Japan released their app in collaboration with Hatsune Miku, known as Domino's app featuring Hatsune Miku. They promoted this collaboration by releasing a YouTube video featuring Scott, president of Domino's Pizza. And don't ask me why the CEO of Domino's Pizza Japan is an American guy, because I don't know. This video became very popular, gaining almost 2 million views across YouTube and Nico Nico.
You know what? People make fun of it, but god damn it, that's probably a pretty good ad. Nothing funnier than an old white guy talking about Hatsune Miku.
One of the main things they were promoting, the limited edition Miku-themed pizza boxes sold out across the entire country in only 6 days. These pizza boxes could be used with the Domino's app to create a live augmented reality performance of Miku.
That's
cool! This was peak technology back in 2013. Shortly after the release of the video, Western internet users on a small site called YouTube found the video and started memeing the shit out of it. These users found Scott's formal, but noticeably awkward way of presenting with his Miku-colored tie very humorous, so they decided to make it the next big victim of YouTube poops. Even a lot of Western news sites at the time would make fun of this ad for being too goofy or too unhinged.
This is what I'm saying though. Good marketing ad doesn't matter. He's getting dunked on. Everyone's talking about it. Even back in the day, there's the saying of any press is good press. You know, the Logan Paul special, the Logan Paul style. Doesn't matter if they're talking positively or negatively about you, as long as they're talking about you. And now I want a steaming, piping hot slice of Domino's. You know? I haven't had Domino's in months.
But the Domino's app featuring Hatsune Miku never became more than just a source for funny YouTube poops and limited edition pizza boxes.
I don't know what he means by saying YouTube
You
poops.
really thought that I included this meme just because of that? You silly, silly viewer. 5 years after the success of this advertisement, it was largely forgotten, as most internet memes are, but a YouTuber by the name of Nick Robinson gave a whole new audience to this legendary piece of media. Nick starts off his video by stating, quote, "For years, I have considered it my favorite YouTube video of all time.
Okay.
But one thing was awry. The video was gone. This one commercial that provided happiness for both Miku and Domino's fans alike had vanished." Nick continues his video, searching for what could have possibly happened to the video. At the end of his treacherous journey to and from Japan, he finally figured it out. Scott Olkers, president of Domino's Pizza Japan, the main character of the video, had retired as CEO of Domino's Japan. But that wasn't the end of Nick's Hatsune Miku Domino's journey. It was just the beginning. Sure, this video was memed all over the internet, but remember what it was originally trying to...
By the way, I hope you enjoyed the video so far. This has been really fun. Make sure to like and subscribe. You know? That's what people do.
to advertise? That's right, the app. Domino's app featuring Hatsune Miku, along with every other 32-bit app, was shut down with the release of iOS 11 in 2017. Now I'm going to give you an extremely brief summary of his next videos because I want you to go watch the 4-part video series for yourself, because I don't want to take any views away from Nick, since he was the one to spearhead and put all of his effort into this. Nick, along with other internet preservationists, decided they wanted the app back. And it was actually pretty simple. Nick just had to buy an old iPhone and re-download the app, since he already had it from downloading it when it came out. He, along with a couple other people, decided to share the files of the app, so now you...
I know he says he doesn't want to take away views, but I will totally check this out. Let's totally check these videos out. That sounds so cool. Okay, we got to check this out. I can't believe it. I also didn't know you could just re-download apps on old phones. I didn't know that worked either.
Can go download and experience it for yourself if you have an iPhone that supports 32-bit apps.
Yeah, I definitely do.
However, just figuring out why the video was taken down and recovering the app wasn't enough. Something else was on his bucket list. Something that's been on his mind since before he even made the first YouTube videos. He wanted to meet Scott. After years of trying to find ways to get in
This video's gone off on a bit of a tangent.
Contact with him, he finally got a lead, and a really convenient and significant one too. Scott, now former president of Domino's Pizza Japan's son, Mark, reached out to Nick. After a bit of chatting, Mark agrees to get interviewed by Nick about his father. One of the funniest things that comes from this interview is that Mark reveals that Scott has actually been working with Domino's in Asia since the 90s and has been featuring in Domino's commercials for a very long time, and with him speaking some pretty good Mandarin Chinese.
Barbecue 009pizza 餐
，Let's go. Okay,
After this
pretty
interview,
good.
Nick was happy, but not entirely satisfied.
I like how he was like, I don't want to take away from the views from him, but he's included the entire plot of the video and like half the footage.
He had finally secured an interview with Scott. If you want to see everything from the interview, I implore you to go watch Nick's video, which I'll leave in the description, but I did want to share some cool highlights from the interview. Firstly, Scott is apparently fluent in Mandarin Chinese, and in the late 90s he was one of the most recognized foreigners in all of Taiwan. And secondly, the goofy and awkward gestures in the Miku ad were all planned from the start and part of the script.
I told you! It's all guerrilla marketing. They do it all on purpose, bro. They want you to make fun of them. They want it to be weird. They want it to stand out. You've all been fooled. I knew it. I've been saying this from day one. Those kind of marketing campaigns are actually genius. I want to learn more about those too.
And that's it. You made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for
cool.
watching to the end, just listening to me talk about dumb Miku topics from the old internet. And there's so many more I didn't even get to touch on, so if you want to see a part 2, where I look at some more memes and internet stories involving Hatsune Miku, then make sure to let me know in the comments. Of course, if you enjoyed this video and want more videos like these, help out by liking the video and subscribing to the channel.
Very cool. Kyo Womi, thank you so much for the video. That was absolutely fantastic. I love your little tangents. That was wonderful. There we go. Now we know. I didn't realize she was gonna be so goddamn popular, but I understand why you guys were like, you don't know who she is. Well, now I do. All right, I'm done.